In 2027, almost 20 years have passed since an unprecedented infertility crisis halted human reproduction, marking 18 years since the birth of the last child. Societal order has crumbled globally, leaving the United Kingdom as the only beacon of government. While navigating London's streets on his way to work, Theo Farron witnesses a terror attack. Shortly after, he learns of baby Diego's demise, the youngest human at 18 years. Seeking solace, he visits his friend and dealer, Jasper. With waves of unauthorized immigrants, labeled fugees, seeking refuge in the UK, the strict and ruthless government policies push them into harrowing camps, like the one close to Jasper's residence in Bexhill. As they convene, Jasper and Theo ponder over the whispered tales of the Human Project, an enigmatic group believed to be finding a solution to the world's infertility issue. Upon arriving at Jasper's secluded home, nestled within the forest, Jasper curiously inquires if Theo has been romantically involved with anyone lately. Theo responds negatively, mentioning his last relationship with a woman who chose to renounce, a ritual act of self-punishment seeking atonement for humanity. Inside Jasper's dwelling, the walls narrate a story. They are adorned with various photographs, an accolade he won for Political Cartoonist of the Year in 2010, snippets from newspapers capturing the onset of the fertility crisis almost 20 years prior, and subsequent reports of the emerging refugee situation. The most poignant image is that of Janice, Jasper's wife, a photojournalist who underwent torture for her professional pursuits. While she survives, she remains in a catatonic state. The scene transitions to Theo and Jasper gently placing Janice's coat over her motionless frame, her gaze fixed into the distance. In Jasper's cozy living room, the two engage in conversation about Jasper's cannabis trade, with most of his supply now heading to Bexhill. Jasper lightens the mood with a jest about the Human Project, an organization rumored to be seeking a remedy for the world's infertility crisis. Theo, however, expresses skepticism, arguing the planet's fate seems sealed in decay. Later, Theo finds himself amidst the bustling streets of London, surrounded by the unsettling sight of police detaining fugees and spontaneous memorials mournfully commemorating baby Diego. In an abrupt turn, a group of men ambush and abduct Theo, whisking him away to the base of the Fishes, a resistance group advocating for refugees' rights. The wall of their hideout vividly depicts the world's grim state through various newspaper cuttings. To Theo's surprise, he comes face to face with the group's leader, Julian, his former wife. Her appearance leaves him in shock. Julie admits that the Fa abduction was a necessary tactic to ensure the meeting with him. As she delves into the Fish's mission, she discloses their urgent need to counterfeit transit documents for a young refugee girl. She implores Theo to reach out to his well-connected cousin for assistance in this matter. Theo hesitates, deeming the task too perilous. Sensing his financial need, Julian tempts him with an offer of £5,000. Despite the lucrative bait, he declines. To preserve the secrecy of their base, the Fishes blindfold him before escorting him out. Before letting him go, Luke, a prominent Fishes member, hands Theo contact details, anticipating a potential change of heart. Though he's initially set on refusing, Theo reconsiders and approaches his affluent cousin for the required papers. There's a twist. The papers are for joint transit, mandating Theo to personally escort the refugee woman to the coast. When Theo later walks into Jasper's residence, a chilling stillness suggests a grim fate for Jasper and Janice. To his relief, he discovers they are merely under the influence of drugs. As they gather for a meal, Miriam unveils the identity of Tomorrow, a vessel posing as a fishing boat, but in reality, a hospital ship destined for the Human Project's base in the Azores. They've planned a rendezvous with the Tomorrow at Bexhill in a mere 48 hours. Theo curiously inquires about Key's unborn child, wondering about the identity of the father. Key, with a playful tone, momentarily claims virginity, but quickly dissolves into laughter, admitting her uncertainty about the child's paternity. She reminisces about the early days of her pregnancy, a time when the concept of a pregnant woman was foreign to her, yet the transformative moment arrived when she experienced the baby's first kick. It was an affirmation of life within her, and in that moment, she felt vibrantly alive. All the while, Key's fingers intricately weave through Janice's hair, fashioning a braid. Jasper offers a strategy to infiltrate Bexhill. They'd intentionally get detained by a border official, someone Jasper has a rapport with through his drug dealings. The official would then covertly smuggle them into the refugee camp. Later, in a quiet moment, Theo pours himself a drink, eavesdropping on the chatter emanating from the living room. Key's attention is drawn to a photograph showcasing a happier time, one with Julian, Theo, and their baby. She seeks clarity on its backstory, promoting Jasper to reminisce about Dylan, the couple's cherished child. He speaks fondly of Dylan's vivacity and the heartbreak that consumed them when the infant succumbed to a flu epidemic. Jasper elucidates how the harrowing experience eroded Theo's optimism, making him question the worth of the resistance and hope. In the stillness of the night, an alarm disrupts Jasper's home, signaling the intrusion of the fishes. As Theo, Miriam, and Key scramble to evacuate, they urge Jasper to accompany them. Instead, he offers directives on rendezvousing with Sid, the border official. With determination, Jasper asserts that his place is here, to buy them time. He instructs Theo to convey a coded message to Sid by calling him a fascist pig. Leaving the safety of their haven, Theo, Miriam, and Key make their escape. Meanwhile, Jasper and Janice brace for the impending confrontation. In a poignant moment, Jasper tenderly cradles Janice's face, an unspoken communication between them as she remains unresponsive. From a vantage point atop a nearby hill, Theo and Miriam, having parked their car, bear witness to the fishes' siege on Jasper's home. Their thorough search uncovers clues pointing to the group's intent to reach Bexhill. When Jasper staunchly withholds further information, they retaliate with fatal force. Overwhelmed by grief and witnessing Jasper's demise, Theo grapples with anger, directing it at Miriam even as she attempts to console him, emphasizing the gravity of their larger mission. Venturing to a forsaken school, they are met with walls adorned by the faded artwork of children. The once lively hallways now resonate with an unsettling silence, broken only by the presence of a stray deer that seems to have caused minor disarray. In a deserted classroom, Theo and Miriam engage in quiet conversation while Key enjoys the nostalgic rhythm of a swing outside. Miriam recounts the years leading up to the infertility calamity. As a midwife, she was at the forefront, watching in despair as expectant mothers began to universally miscarry. The pattern saw her vocation vanish, when pregnancies became a phenomenon of the past. She speaks of the uncanny quietude that comes with a childless world, saying, "I was there at the end." Theo, attempting to instill hope, counters with the idea that she'll now be present for a new beginning. Their moment of reflection is broken by the shrill sound of a siren. An officer approaches. Theo, recalling Jasper's advice, greets him with the unusual moniker fascist pig. The officer feigns aggression, but soon breaks into chuckles, introducing himself as Sid, who curiously refers to himself in the third person. With Sid's guidance, they embark on their journey towards Bexhill. During the quiet of night, Theo covertly listens in on a conversation, unearthing a disturbing truth. Luke had orchestrated Julian's demise to assert his leadership over the fishes. He has a calculated plan to exploit Key's unborn child as a rallying symbol for the fishes, aiming to incite rebellion among the refugees. Recognizing the imminent danger, Theo swiftly marshals Key and Miriam, and they make their escape in a purloined vehicle. Although pursued, the fishes refrain from using firearms, fearing harm to Key and the baby. They find solace in strategy at Jasper's home, discussing their next move. Jasper proposes a pact with Sid, a border guard he occasionally trades drugs with. The plan: Sid will feign arresting them, facilitating their entry into Bexhill, the refugee enclave where the vessel Tomorrow is scheduled to dock in a couple of days. Once there, they'll secure a boat to rendezvous with a ship at a pre-arranged location. Upon their entry into Bexhill, Mariska, an insider, offers them shelter. Sid maintains the charade of their arrest, loudly ordering them onto a bus designated for refugees. Their objective remains clear: to rendezvous with the Tomorrow as the sun dips below the horizon the subsequent day. While on the bus, Miriam elaborates on the criticality of the time rendezvous with the Tomorrow. The sole method to establish contact with the elusive human project involves mirrors, messages relayed from one individual to another until they eventually reach Julian, the designated mirror within the fishes. Intriguingly, direct communication with any representative of the human project has never been accomplished. Amidst this revelation, Key's agonizing contractions intensify, drawing curious and puzzled glances from fellow passengers oblivious to her condition. Abruptly, the realizations dawn upon Key that her water has broken, signaling the impending arrival of her child. Upon the arrival at Bexhill facility, officers board the bus to scrutinize the refugees. One aggressively questions Key's state of distress. Miriam, in a bid to divert attention, feigns madness, which results in her detention. Posing as someone with limited English proficiency, Theo persuades the officer that Key's discomfort is due to a simple accident, implying she's wet herself. This ruse ensures they aren't dragged off the bus. As they continue their journey, the distressing sight of a hood being drawn over Miriam's head hints at the grim fate she might face. Once inside the confines of Bexhill camp, its condition becomes evident: a crammed, grime-laden makeshift city. Within this chaos, they connect with Mariska, the contact they were instructed to locate. She guides them on her bicycle to a dwelling place, and en route, They witness wall markings indicating potential plans for a refugee revolt. The journey up the staircase to the dingy apartment allocated to them is particularly challenging for Key, whose labor is unmistakably imminent. Despite this, they manage to keep Mariska oblivious to Key's condition. After showing them to a room equipped with just a mattress, Mariska departs, her small dog in tow. Theo swiftly arranges a makeshift bed, laying his jacket beneath Key to keep things tidy. As Key's labor intensifies, her cries pierce the silence. Theo, despite his inexperience, aids in the birthing process while Key, overwhelmed by pain, voices her doubt about her capability to endure. Yet against the odds, a baby girl is born, her cries signaling her vitality. Holding her newborn close, Key is awestruck by the miracle in her arms. They delay severing the umbilical cord, and amidst the exhaustion and relief, Theo and Key share a moment of jubilant laughter. The narrative shifts to dawn of the next day. Key, in a tender embrace with her newborn, lies on the mattress. Suddenly, the tranquility is interrupted by urgent knocks at the door, revealing Sid and Mariska. As they scramble to shield the baby from view, Sid informs them of the escalating conflict between the British Army, the refugees, and the fishes. The situation is dire. The army is set to decimate Bexhill. He insists that he's their ticket out. However, when Sid glimpses at a tiny bundle in Key's grasp, curiosity piques. Upon unveiling the infant, both Sid and Mariska are taken aback. Desperate, Theo pleads for assistance in securing a boat in their escape. Mariska, agitated and speaking rapidly in her native tongue, seems to caution against trusting Sid, hinting at his deceitful nature. Sid, with weapons drawn, forces them through the building, hinting at a treacherous plan to cash in on the significant bounty both the police and fishes have placed on their heads. When Theo attempts to intervene, a skirmish erupts. Amid the chaos, Sid's gun goes off. In the nick of time, Mariska swings a hefty hammer, knocking Sid unconscious. She swiftly escorts Theo, Key, and the baby back to safety. As they exit, the tumultuous conflict between the refugees and the British Army is evident. The long-feared uprising of the Fugees is underway. The chanting of Allahu Akbar, echoing through Bexhill, signifies the fervor of the refugee soldiers proclaiming God is the greatest. Amidst this fervency, Mariska steers Key and Theo to safety, leading them to an apartment. The owner, seemingly an ally of Mariska, welcomes them upon seeing Key's infant. This sanctuary contrasts the turmoil outside. The apartment exudes an aura of opulence uncommon for Bexhill. Inside, Key and her baby find solace on a plush bed as an elderly woman serenades the newborn. Amid light banter, Key humorously considers naming her daughter Bazooka. It's evident that the residents of this abode will assist Key and Theo in their journey to rendezvous with the Human Project. Emerging from their brief reprieve, they navigate the ongoing war between the Fugees and British military. Key, ensconced in a wheelchair with the baby concealed beneath, is aided by Mariska and a companion in their pursuit of the coast. However, their path is obstructed when Luke and the fishes intercept them. Seizing Key, Luke envisions the newborn as the beacon of hope to further the rebellion. He leaves Theo and his party at the mercy of armed fishes. As the conflict escalates, Theo embarks on a desperate search, guided by the baby's cries to rescue Key. Their reunion is heartfelt, with Key revealing her decision to name the baby Dylan, in memory of Theo's son. The revelation evokes profound emotions in Theo, who succumbs to his injuries. Amidst the chaos, salvation arrives in the form of a vessel on the distant waves, the Tomorrow. Key's lullaby assures the infant of their impending safety.